never been accused of as not being aggressive. So we would expect him to try to be aggressive right away to take those spots away.
And guys, you see where the 42 is restarting there because there were so many wave around cars. You know, normally he'd be at the back of this pack, but I believe because there were so many, he got to start all the way up there near the 3.
Yeah, that's a huge break for the 42.
And getting ready for the restart. Matt tipped on the outside. Sadler on the inside. Good push coming for the 21. Sadler surging ahead. Daniel Hemrick moves to second.
John Nemecheck on the outside. On the very outside, he needs a good run here to get in position to win this race. Matt Tiff moving out of the way. That was a huge break for Nemecheck.
With Hemrick with more speed than Sadler all day long, will he get held up by this one car trying to get by? Will that allow John Hunter Nemecheck to get up here and get a little piece of this battle for the lead?
A series of great breaks for Nemecheck.
Oh, look at Sadler can't get to the throttle. And you see how Hemrick gets a run.
Going to the outside for the lead. Daniel Hemrick taking it away from Sadler as they go into turn 3.
John Hunter Nemecheck on the top. He's going to have a great run on both these guys coming off the turn 4. Man, great work by John Hunter Nemecheck in the last few laps to be right where he is. The back bumper of that 21 car.
And once again, the two are battling for the lead. John Hunter Nemecheck chasing after Hemrick.
Big run down the back straightaway here. Took 42 car. Really committed to the top on that turn 1 and 2.
Hemrick changed his line, went to the top in 3 and 4. I think he had to. Nemecheck on the bottom.
2 lanes down.
Wow, what a battle.
Oh, Hemrick does not have regret. Nemecheck's going to take the lead here.
He's trying to stay away from him.
Go Nemecheck.
And Hemrick up on the high side, now through the middle.
Hemrick's
John Hunter Nemecheck surging ahead.
Oh, he backed up for a crossover. Wow.
Here comes Hemrick on the inside.
And watch Nemecheck. He's going to try to get him right on that right rear quarter panel of the 21 to take the air off of it. Look how close he is.
He stays in the middle of the track. Hemrick trying to be in the gas quick. Now here comes Nemecheck again on the outside.
Side draft is so important. That's why Hemrick has to chase him up the racetrack.
What a great battle for the lead. Nemecheck on the outside. Now Hemrick falls in behind. John Hunter Nemecheck out in front.
I didn't see that coming. John Hunter Nemecheck that far behind on that restart. What has he done in these last few laps? He's taken over this race.
I thought Nemecheck was done because Parker gave a great report about why he could line up, why he lined up. I expected he was going to have to be in the back of the pack. Caught a break with all those pass arounds, and then Hemrick's car just does not look as good as it was earlier in this race. He's already running 30, running much slower than he did earlier.
That's something these drivers have to learn, Dale, right? With experience, you know, right? With the adjustments you need, that last run, you always drive more aggressively. You're going to ask more out of your car. You kind of almost have to guess what you think it's going to do, whether you're going to lose front grip or rear grip. Yeah, as loose as the 42's been all day long, the track does get tighter. This final run will be as tight as the track's been all day long, so it just may have came to him. This track may have really came toward the 42's favor.
And I'm going to tell you who's in the pits right now, pulling hard for John Hunter Nemecheck, Christopher Bell and Justin Allgaier. They do not want a guy to win and go ahead and advance themselves to Miami.
That's right, John Hunter Nemecheck not a part of the playoffs. And as we mentioned earlier, really fighting for a win, wanting to get a win so that he could potentially get a ride, a full-time ride in either Xfinity Series or the Cup Series. John Hunter Nemecheck fighting for his resume.
And he made that mistake shooting through his spots. And he was in a bad place, in a bad situation. But now, what he's done in just those last few laps, everyone's seen what he's just accomplished to be able to take that lead and potentially win this race. Sadler, Elliott on 2 tires. Look at him getting loose here. That's pretty good contact with the right rear quarter panel. He's going to move that quarter panel over and lose a little bit of side force. Not going to have the balance that he's had. Look, he's buckled that rear quarter panel. Has come loose from the tailpiece. The tailpiece has come unsealed from the trunk. Now, it's going to really make that car hard to drive as you see it.
Yeah,
this point. They just need to try to get him to the finish, right? There's only a few cars in the lead lap. He's currently running 5th. There's only 8 total. Nope.
It gave him a front row starting position on that restart, but the 2 tires not really working out. Elliott just saying he is tight, 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 tight. Feels like he's on the splitter, so the team telling him, look, take a deep breath, be smooth, let's just finish this thing out and take our 3rd place finish.
That is impressive. He's just trying to get as many points as he can. There's still 2 races left after this one. Still time to get himself to Miami with a chance to win that championship.
John Hunter Nemecheck over the last couple laps has kind of slowed down. Realized the situation he's in, the big 4.5-second lead that he has, and he's running 30-90s, 31 flats. Same thing as Hemrick and Sattler back here in 2nd and 3rd, Parker.
And Junior might have hit the nail on the head there. You were talking about Tyler Reddick and having to learn maybe to back it off. We'll take a listen to the 42's radio here.
Steve here, try not to go so hard. It's about 3/4 straightaway back to the 21. He's just going hard enough to try to stay in front of the 1. You're going to be coming back to 15 to go.
There you have it. He's just backing it off, dude. Exactly as you said, just running hard enough to keep that lead.
Well, 2 reasons. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I was going to say 2 reasons. One reason I'm going to tell you to move off the walls and save your car. But, Jeff, can't you just save a little bit of tire in case we get a late caution?
I think that's the whole point. You have a big enough lead, almost 5 seconds. You know, you can win by a second and it counts the same. So, really, if you are this much better, save your tires, take care of your car. You might get a late race restart. Those better tires can help you win the race.
John Hunter Nemecheck, we mentioned, has not won in the Xfinity Series. He's got 6 wins in the Camping World Truck Series. Famous father, Joe Nemecheck, we saw as he was just a kid at Kansas in Victory Lane when his dad was celebrating wins here.
Back in 2nd place, Hemrick and Sattler starting to have a little bit of a battle brewing. Sattler's been right around this distance, closing it at times, running different lines, trying to move around and try to figure out how he can maybe get to that 21 car, but he hasn't been able to do it. Hemrick just really struggling on this run. They were so fast in practice, so fast in qualifying. I wonder what they've done to this car to really affect it this much for this final run, but it doesn't look nothing like it did before in speed and handling.
And such disappointing as a driver and a team. And it probably wasn't a big change. I bet they made a small change, and the car just is not as good as it once was.
Yeah, these Xfinity cars go through big swings during the race. They'll start out and get looser and looser and then tighten up toward the end of the race. And all these races get, very tight at the end. The balance of the racetrack kind of shifts toward a very tight balance toward the end, and you have to kind of be ready for that.
And Junior, they've only made small air pressure adjustments, that's it. And they've asked Daniel trying to move up to the top. He said, guys, I'm not any quicker on the top. I'm just going to run this middle and run the bottom. That's basically where he's been for much of this run. Of course, this lap he moves up to the top, but very small changes on the 21 to your point.
We have to check up a little bit right there on that corner exit, get out there and get that fence. I don't think he's got to worry too much about Sattler getting by him. Sattler talking about his car being tight. If you're tight, you're going to be able to pass a guy who's running the high side of the fence.
Yeah, you talk about Elliott and Sattler. Remember, they were pitted running 4th, did 2 tires, so now running 3rd, got that track position. So right now, that 2-tire call, assuming this race ends like this, gained them 1 spot.
Absolutely. Hemrick just needs to take care of his car, keep it out of the fence. You never know, you might get a late yellow. An opportunity at stealing the win from the 42 car, John Hunter Nemecheck.
It has to be a frustrating day for Daniel Hemrick as he's led 128 laps, currently running in that 2nd position. So close it seems once again to that first ever Xfinity Series win, but then so far away. Right now it's 5 seconds in front of him. John Hunter Nemecheck running very good laps, has led 57 laps already with just under 7 laps to go.
Well, Rick, I think the big concern is we look at the playoff picture, the points on the left side of your screen. Plus 23 is decent, but for most of the race, it's an advanced. It was a win. He was on to Miami. We saw how crazy the start of this race was. 23 points. Well, that's where the 7 and the 20 came in. They had that big of a points lead. 1 corner, 1 accident. You see Christopher Bell barely above the cut line and Justin Allgaier well below. So there's just no guarantee what's going to happen throughout this round. Look at this battle right there. Top right, you see Elliott Sattler with the helmet cam. Looking back at Elliott from Daniel's car.
You said it, Junior. You can see why it's so hard to pass. You get a guy like Daniel Hemrick that's running that top, and the top's the preferred lane. It's, you know, even if you're a little bit quicker, I think the one car is. I think if the one car were in front of the 21, he would drive away from him, but it's just nowhere to go.
There isn't. There's nowhere to go, and Elliott has to run that little bit lower line just to get a little clean air, keep the balance of his car good, and turning. He's not going to be able to make the pass, though, and he's going to have to hope that Hemrick actually has a problem, maybe gets into the fence a little bit or has to lift really hard on corner exit, misjudge the corner exit or something like that, maybe make a run on that way, or find himself having difficulty getting through lap traffic. That can also give Elliott a possibility of making a pass, but otherwise I think if Hemrick just does what he needs to do, runs a smooth, calm pace, he will maintain this position to the end.
And it's under 4 laps to go. Again, the gap between 1 and 2, Nemecheck and Hemrick, is 5.2 seconds. A lot closer between second and third. Hemrick Sadler separated by 0.4 of a second. Listening to the one radio as Elliott Sadler's trying to catch that 21. That was Elliott Sadler, the veteran, in his final season of full-time racing in NASCAR. Struggling, trying to find that line. Under 2 laps to go. What an incredible turn of events it has been for John Hunter Nemecheck. It looked as though he had given the race away when he slid into his pit box and just a bit too far, had to back up. Then they had to come back around, tighten lug nuts up. It looked as though the race was gone and not a chance. There's 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. But John Hunter Nemecheck fought. He fought hard on the high side, was able to catch the 21 and then successfully get by. And now John Hunter Nemecheck, as he enters turn number 3, looking for his first ever win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.